Hello, singing friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's your friendly neighborhood singing coach, Miki here. Today I'm going to be reacting to another Grace Vanderwaal song. This is a request from my patron, Oz. And Oz writes in the request that Grace doesn't like her early work except for the song Moonlight. She has said it is about some of the troubles with mental health of her sister Olivia. They are very close. Grace says she wants to encourage people to speak openly about this topic. Here she is performing Moonlight at the 2017 Billboard Awards, a 13-year-old girl and her ukulele singing a song she wrote that is close to her heart in a ballroom filled with some of the biggest names in the music industry. So I think this is a very worthy cause, destigmatizing mental illness. I unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess you can't really say fortunately, but I do have family members that suffer from mental illness. And unless you really have dealt with it on a personal level, I don't think it's really understood. I think there's like the pop culture version of what mental illness is, and it's become very trendy recently for celebrities to say that they have these pathological behaviors, but perhaps they have a more normal version of what they're considering these eccentric behaviors. And of course, it is a spectrum. Everybody has behaviors that could be considered idiosyncratic or neuroatypical. But when you really have a severe form of mental illness, it can be very debilitating and very difficult for everyone involved. And it definitely should not be seen as a stigma. It's a disease like anything else, and people need to be treated with compassion. And the more that we can talk about it openly, the better, I believe. And the more understanding and light that we can shed on what mental illness actually looks like, I think the more helpful it will be. So that being said, let's see what Grace has to say about her sister Olivia in the song Moonlight. Here we go.
She always has a smile from morning to the night. The perfect poster child that was once in my life. A doll made out of glass. All the friends think that she's great, but I can see through it all and she's about to break. Remember last year when you told me to always stay here, never leave me, and the light from your eyes made it feel like we were dancing in the moonlight. Remember last year when you told me that these would be lifelong stories, and the light from your eyes made it feel like we were dancing in the moonlight. And you were dancing in the moonlight, and I was dancing in the moonlight.
All right, I'm going to pause it there for a moment. I do apologize. I just don't want to get flagged. So I think it's incredibly brave to speak about this topic in the first place. It's something that's obviously very, very personal, and you can almost see tears glittering in her eyes as she's sitting up there. I also think it's incredibly brave to perform in such a stripped down naked way with just a ukulele. I mean, of all the instruments to play with, it's something that is very delicate and quiet. And there's not a lot of things that you can do on it. It's not like a guitar where you can really play some complex things. I mean, I'm sure that you can play complex things on any instrument, but it's more limited in what you can do. And so she really has to use her voice in a way that you wouldn't have to if you had a more complex and full accompaniment. And so I do think that's very, very brave of her to come out and sing this, just her voice and the ukulele. I also obviously love the reference Dancing in the Moonlight, and I love that it is such an emotional delivery. You do get to hear that very quintessential kind of raspiness on her voice when she goes into that chorus, something that is very characteristic of Grace. So far I'm really loving it. It is very moving.
Now she lost her way, and she forgets to smile. Never get to break from this life in denial. A doll made out of glass. All the friends think that she's great, but I can see through it all and she's about to break. Oh, remember last year when you told me to always stay here, never leave me, and the light from your eyes made it feel like we remember last year when I told you I'd always stay here, never leave you. I told you the lie, your eyes made it look like we were dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight, made it feel like we were dancing in the moonlight. Ooh. Oh, made it feel like dancing in the moonlight.
Wow, very nice. Well, she got a standing ovation, so clearly it was very, very effective and moving for the crowd as well. So I thought that was beautiful. And just vocally, in terms of technique, I think that she's displaying 3 different types of technique here. She's got that very, very light, kind of breathy, high voice in her head voice. And then she's also got that rasp. And the way that she's producing that rasp is by using vocal fries. So it's not like scraping through her throat. It's not like an exceptionally powerful kind of distortion, but she's getting that right when she goes, it kind of like frays the voice and makes it sound a little bit raggedy and raw. So it imparts a lot of emotional content without being very hard on the voice. It's a very healthy way of introducing some raspiness into your voice. And then she also has the more pure belted parts when she really gets into that end chorus. She's really going full throttle with that belt. So she's slipping into all 3 of those. There was one point where she actually had a vocal crack where she went from the raspy chorus and then she flipped up into that high breathy head voice, and you did hear a noticeable break, which may or may not have been intentional, but I think overall the emotional content of the song allows for messiness because it's something that she's obviously feeling very intensely, and it's a subject that's very personal and encompasses a lot of fraught emotions. And so there's room for it not to be like this technically perfect performance. It almost feels better when it's a little bit messy. Like it could almost come off the rails, or she could start crying, or like you don't know like what's going to happen in the performance. And that gives it an element of danger that really tugs at the heartstrings. So I thought it was very brave, very well done, very effective, well executed, and powerful. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for recommending that I listen to it, Oz. I hope that you enjoyed my reaction. And I'll see you guys here next time. If it's a Monday, I'll see you Wednesday. If it's a Wednesday, I'll see you Monday. Until then, take care. And of course, happy singing.